CZ Productions does not hold the copyright for this program. It is presented here as a tribute to John J. Ward.
Thanks for staying with us. There's a real fun activity coming up next week in New River, or actually Rock Springs, Arizona. The reason I keep saying New River is that the representatives here today are from New River. It's John Ward, he's a master gardener from New River, and Carol Zimmerman. So thanks for joining us this morning.
Delighted.
The Sweet Onion Festival, this is the third annual Sweet Onion Festival is coming up, and maybe you could tell us some of the details about it, John.
Well, certainly. It started 2 years ago. This will be the third year. Of a lark, we started growing super sweet onions out in New River, and it's sort of a competition between New River and Black Canyon City. We feature the Grand X, which is known as the Vidalias, and a new one this year, a 1015Y, which was developed by the Texas A&M University. Now this is every bit as good, we think, as a Vidalia. And the third category will be red onions. And we invite everybody in Arizona to bring their onions and their girlfriends to enter in the Sweet Onion Queen contest, of course.
Carol is the 1989 queen, and I guess we couldn't have the 1990 queen here because I think she's in school. Is that right?
She's still, yes. The fun thing about the Onion Queen Festival is it's open to all ages. There's no restrictions, and anybody can enter. And last year's queen, or the reigning queen this year, is Leah Jackson, and she's 12 years old.
And she actually grew the onions. That was kind of neat.
She was a contestant also in some of the onion competitions, and she was a winner, I think, in one of the competitions. I can't remember.
What are some of the competitions other than the queen?
Well, there's of course the onions. We have the largest onions, the heaviest onions, the prettiest onions. What other categories are there, JJ? Do you know?
And the prettiest display, and also this year we're encouraging people to display arts and crafts of all sorts, whatever they're good at. And so we expect to have quite a few displays other than agriculture.
I think one young lady's going to enter a quilt for display. We may also have dollhouse displays with a farm motif and that sort of thing. Also, we have a recipe competition encouraging people to enter appetizers, main dishes, desserts, and that sort of thing, made with onions, of course.
And how do you get to be a judge in the recipe contest?
Be brave. Last year, Sue Cafferty was one of the judges, and the winning recipe last year was an onion pie, which is it deserved to win, I think. But aside from that, we had at least half a dozen. We had onion bread, we had relishes, and all sorts of things, all very good. And the lady who won was on her way to Alaska, and she had on her T-shirt, and somebody up there said, "New River? I used to live in New River. They don't raise onions in New River." She said, "We do now."
But it is a very good area for growing onions. Is that true?
Oh yes. The soil is alkaline and it's low sulfur soil, so the onions are very, very sweet. Now try to grow the same onion in acid soil, and it wouldn't be anywhere near as good. That's why southern Georgia does well. They're low sulfur soil, and we have actually a similar situation here.
So you don't have a lot of amending to the soil? Is that right?
No, absolutely, and certainly don't put sulfur in it.
Okay. Last year it seemed that the onions were ready about this time.
Right.
And this year they're not. Why is that?
Well, last year we had an early spring, and this year we've had a very late spring, and it's the temperatures. As a matter of fact, a couple of days ago we had 38 degrees out in New River, is a minimum. And the onions are not quite ready, but we're all in the same boat. The people in the valley and in more of a southern location, lower areas, will have an advantage this time. Winners will probably all come from the valley.
And it is wide open to anybody.
Yes, indeed.
Is there a fee to get into it?
There's no entry fee, and it's hosted by the Rock Springs Cafe. They've been very delightful, and we have outstanding spot for it. And so we look forward to having anybody that's interested in onions.
Okay, date is May 19th, is that
May
right?
19th, beginning about 1 p.m.
And that's a Sunday?
It's a Sunday.
It's on a Sunday.
And it goes 1 to...
1 to
1 to when everybody gets tired.
Okay.
And it's at Rock Springs. It's anybody going up I-17 has probably seen it. It's off on the west side of the freeway.
Exit 43.
Exit 43.
Right.
And the location is the patio out back of Rock Springs, and they've really spruced it up pretty nicely. They have a deck over the actual springs. The mesquite trees have all been trimmed back, and they've got lots of room for people to have an onion festival.
What's the best way to grow onions, in your opinion? Starting from seed or starts or?
Well, from seed, but you can also order plants from Texas. However, they're not ready in time. They were last year, but this year the plants we got from Texas, they aren't mature yet. They're not ready until about January. And but we start them from seed in September or October. Now the 1015Y, the 1015 come from October to 15th, which is supposed to be the optimum planting date.
And do you direct seed those into the soil, or plant them in the greenhouse first?
Well, I plant them in the greenhouse. You can direct sow them in the soil, but I plant them, start them in the greenhouse, and then set them out when they're about 4 or 5 inches tall.
And does the cold in the winter bother them?
Not at all. Onions will take at least 10 degrees of frost without any damage, maybe more than that. And these are short day onions. The long day, the Walla Walla won't do well here. The days aren't long enough. If you live Utah or north, why go for the Walla Wallas, and in the south, go for the Vidalias or the 1015Ys.
Great. It sounds like a good day to not only get into the festivities, but maybe get some tips on growing onions as well.
Yes, indeed.
Okay, give us the dates and times once again and the location.
Okay, it's May the 19th at the Rock Springs patio. Take I-17 north and get off at exit 43, and it's just west of the freeway. And it's north of the Rock Springs Cafe on the patio. Beautiful spot out there for it, and the climate ought to be perfect. There will be refreshments served in the area, so you can have lunch there if you wish.
And it starts about 1 o'clock in the afternoon?
Right.
Great. Thanks for joining us this morning. John Ward, Carol Zimmerman.
Delighted.
When we come back, we'll be talking to you about some announcements of things going around in the state, so stay with us.
For more information, go to johnjward.com.